What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today I get to share with you guys a roasted chicken recipe that when I stumbled upon it, I was actually surprised what the main ingredient consisted of. Now, I am not the biggest fan of mustard. I do like it in some applications, but I typically like to stay away from it. But this marinade is actually very mustard forward. This is the main ingredient, Dijon mustard. And I promise you guys, it does not taste like a mustard when it's all said and done. All right, stick around, let's get to it. All right, let's run through these ingredients really quick. Dijon mustard is the start of the show here. Dijon mustard is the main body of this marinade. So please go with a Dijon mustard you guys like. I got this one at Whole Foods. I'm not brand loyal or anything, but it is one of the nicer Dijon mustards out there. We're also gonna need some smoked paprika, just some black pepper, some neutral oil. Here I have some oregano. And for this application, do not use Mexican oregano. That stuff is very potent. It's just gonna overpower your marinade. And finally, we're gonna squeeze some fresh lemon juice in there just to brighten everything up. All right, guys, making the marinade is actually very, very simple. All we gotta do is blend it all together. If you have a stick blender, I actually recommend going with that. But mine actually broke, so we're gonna have to use my Vitamix. I'm actually gonna put the liquids first at the bottom, just so the blades have something to catch to. That just makes it a little easier on the blender. All right, so let's go in. If you guys have a scale at home, guys, I recommend that you guys use a scale because sometimes the ingredients like salt or like the spices, they kind of lose their translation when you measure in volume because of the different densities and stuff. Like salt is a perfect example. You know, you have table salt versus kosher salt. The table salt is going to be more by volume because just how small it is. But either way, I will have the volume version in the description as well. Next, we'll go with some oil. We got some lemon juice coming in next. Almost forgot to just use a sieve so I don't get any seeds in there. Now that all my liquids are in there, we're gonna go with the body of the sauce, the mustard. Going with my paprika. This is gonna give our sauce a beautiful color. Some oregano, black pepper, finally some salt. All we do now is just blend it up. And here is our marinade, guys. Now that our marinade is finished, our next step is to prep our chicken. Let's get to it. Okay guys, to get started on our chicken prep, we're gonna need a couple tools here. A knife and preferably some really good kitchen scissors. I always like to glove up whenever I'm cutting any sort of meat so my hands stay nice and clean. And because I want this to cook a little bit faster, I'm actually gonna cut it straight down the center. To do that, I just gotta get rid of the back. So here I'm just cutting alongside the spine. See that? Just to get rid of the back, the spine. And it's actually very easy to cut through. If you got some nice scissors, you won't have any kind of problem. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same for the other side. Okay, back is done. With the back exposed, I like to just get rid of any of these little bits that are in there, just to have a more cleaner product, right? Flip the bird over, and I'm gonna cave in the chest right here. Just press down. Okay, now with my knife, go straight down the middle, cut through the bone. And here we have 2 half chickens. This is gonna make it so that it cooks way more evenly and way more faster. And here, if you wanna clean it up a little bit more, just go in with your scissors again and do any extra butcher work you would like. Like any loose bones you can take off. See this? All I'm gonna do is pat it dry. This one was an air-cooled chicken, so it's actually already pretty dry, you know, and it looks great. This is a good quality chicken. Okay. Again, you can just go over, pat it dry, get rid of any of those nasty things you don't like seeing in your chicken. Now I'm gonna get a bowl and we're gonna marinate. All right, now that my chickens are inside a bowl, all I'm gonna do is put some marinade in there. And you don't have to go extra heavy on it. You know, the marinade is very thick. You kind of want to massage it into the chicken, right? Give your bird a nice little massage. This is why I like to get rid of all those sharp bones, just so I don't hurt myself when I'm doing this. And you don't need a lot of marinade. This marinade that I made is enough for, like, I'm gonna say 2 to 3 chickens. And this is the hardest part of the recipe, guys. In order for this marinade to actually penetrate and do any sort of seasoning onto our chicken, we're gonna have to give it at least 8 hours. So I know waiting sucks and I know waiting's hard, but I promise you it's gonna be well worth the patience. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, it is now the next day. And now our chicken is fully marinated and it's time to go in the oven. I actually took this chicken out a couple hours ago just to give it some time to warm up a little bit before we throw it in the oven. It just allows for a more even cooking process. All right, so let's prepare our sheet pan for this chicken. Let's preheat our oven. And meanwhile, our chicken is cooking. We can get going on our mashed potato. All right, here I got my sheet pan going. I lined it with foil just to make cleanup really easy. I actually lined it pretty well. There's a couple layers in there. Foil is pretty cheap and it saves time on cleanup. I highly recommend you guys line it with foil. It'll make your life way easier at the end. So this one doesn't actually completely fit on there. That's exactly why I have this one, just for a little bit of support, and that way it doesn't shift around on me too much. But if you have one that fits, obviously go for that one. All we gotta do is give him a little bit of extra love. Here, all I'm doing is just giving the chicken a light seasoning of salt, some more pepper. And I always start with the side that's gonna face up, upside down first. That way when we're done seasoning, we're all said and done. Check it out. So I'm gonna flip it, make sure it's nice and flat. Here we go again. A little bit of salt, just to have some very flavorful skin on this chicken. Gonna go with some more pepper. And finally, I'm just gonna go with a little bit of oregano. Just a little tiny bit, just for visuals. All right, family, my oven is almost there. I have it set at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, but I am using convection. Convection is just the fan blowing hot air inside. That's gonna help with the skin getting crispy. The hot temperature is gonna help cooking this chicken pretty fast. It'll probably be done between 35 to 40 minutes. But just remember that the size of your chicken dictates how fast your chicken cooks. I'm gonna open it and slide it in there and close the door so a lot of heat doesn't escape. Done. All right, guys, meanwhile, our chicken is in the oven. I got some potatoes going here. All I did was throw some yellow potatoes in here, Yukon Golds. You wanna make sure you clean them before you throw them in there. You don't want any of that dirt or grime in your water. And all we're gonna do is boil them until they're extra tender, until the fork goes completely through them. You feel no resistance whatsoever. All right, guys, my potatoes have been going for about 45 minutes now. But remember, it depends on the size of your potato. And the fork is going completely through them with absolutely no resistance. So these are done. All right, guys, here I have a potato ricer. This is gonna make your mashed potato texture incredible. If you don't have one of these, mash them with like a bean masher or something, right? But you're not gonna get the best texture with that, right? And you would also have to peel your potatoes unless you don't mind the peel. But the beauty about this, you can throw one in, just go in, and it just rices your potato. And the peel just stays on there. All right, I got my potatoes sliced and riced here. Now I'm gonna go in with my cream and my butter. A little bit of cream. The cream is warmed a little bit, guys, and some melted butter. Yes, that is a lot of butter. Yes, this is the secret of the restaurants. All right, now we just stir until we get a nice little plum puree. At this point, my potato is coming together, so I am gonna season it now because I don't wanna overwork it. And remember, salt is always subjective, so season to your taste. And there we have our mashed potatoes. Next thing to do is just to get a gravy going. All right, guys, my chicken are around the halfway point. As you can see, we already started getting some beautiful color on our chicken. I temped it and the breast is at like a 105. So it probably has another 15-20 minutes to go. So this is the perfect chance to get your marinade out. The same one we use for the chicken. We're gonna brush our chicken to give it a very nice deep crust. And you wanna brush it on as evenly as you can. That way you don't have a lot of dark spots on your chicken and is as evenly cooked as possible. All right, back in the oven, I'm gonna say another 10-15 minutes. All right, guys, let's get started on our gravy. I'm gonna make a very, very simple and quick gravy. So we're gonna get started with a roux. A roux is just an emulsion of fat and flour. So here I have equal parts butter. This is 28 grams of butter, 28 grams of flour. I have some chicken broth here. Use your favorite one, the one you like. I will go for the reduced sodium ones if you guys can find those. That way you get to control the amount of salt in your gravy. We're gonna go with our butter in there. I'm gonna lower my heat so that it's too hot. I'm just gonna melt the butter all the way through. Once the butter is melted all the way through, I'm gonna add my flour. I'm going to go in with my flour. And here, I'm just gonna whisk. Just keep going until you don't smell that raw flour anymore. We're making a blonde roux here. You know, you could go a little darker, but the darker you go, the heavier it's gonna taste and it's gonna lose its thickening power. That's good to me right there. It doesn't smell like raw flour no more. Now I'm just gonna go in with my chicken stock. And this is enough for a pint or 2 cups. Here we go. If you guys want a thicker gravy, you could always up the concentration of the roux. Maybe another tablespoon in there, or you could just add less liquid to it. You know where I work at, we make around 30 gallons of roux at a time. We go through this stuff so fast. Here I'm gonna put my heat up because we actually want this to boil for all that flour to incorporate and actually cook out. Remember, guys, the hotter a liquid is, the looser it's gonna get. So once this cools down a bit, your gravy will actually be a little thicker. So that looks pretty good. You can see it coats the back of a spoon. All we gotta do is season it now. Some salt, freshly cracked pepper. And I'm gonna add a sprinkle of Cajun just to give it a little bit of spice. You can see it already thickened beautifully. And turn it off. There it is, guys. Fantastic. All right, people, I have pulled my chickens out. They have cooked for around 40 minutes. The internal temp of the chicken breast is at around 155, and I'm gonna let it rest for like 10 more minutes so they could get up temperature. This would allow them to cook all the way through without overcooking the chicken. All right, guys, here I have my broccolini. All that I have to do here is just season it up a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a little oil, just as a binder, some salt, because my seasoning does not have salt. And I'm gonna go in with one of my all-time favorite seasonings, which is blackening seasoning. Okay, next I'm just gonna put it in the hot pan and sear it off. Once it comes out the pan, I'm gonna hit it with some lemon juice just to brighten it up, and then we get to plate our dish. I'm going in with my broccolini, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of a weight on there just to get a nice hard sear on it. Give it a flip. Look at that nice color. We repeat. Some lemon juice to brighten it up. We are all done. All right, guys, we're gonna go in with our mashed potato. Give it a little bit of a dip for the well. Okay, you could obviously cut this chicken a little smaller, right? This is just for the picture. Piece of a thigh. Get some gravy in there in our little well. Get some greens in there. Clean up a little bit. There it is, guys. Roasted chicken dinner, mashed potatoes, and broccolini. All right, let's taste. All right, guys, let's see how we did today. Take a bite of my chicken, take a bite of my mashed potatoes, a little bit of everything. Cheers. Oh, yeah. A little bit of lemon juice in there. Some broccolini. That's so good. You know, that's some of the best roasted chicken that I can make. Packed with flavor. We brined it overnight, so you have seasoning throughout the whole bird. We pulled it at around 150, so it's still really juicy. You know, if you like chicken but you don't like mustard, I would still give this recipe a try. Like I said, it doesn't taste anything like mustard. It just really brings out a lot of umami in the chicken, a lot of depth, and then you pair it with whatever you like, right? The video is about the chicken, right? I just made the little side dishes just for you guys to kind of have an idea of where to pair it with. But this could go well with some of that Mexican rice I just made a couple weeks ago, some salsa, some tortillas. And the beauty of this chicken is you could actually smoke it on your smoker or grill it on your Weber, whatever you like. The marinade is there for you guys to experiment in many different applications, okay? It's not just in the oven, although the oven is probably the most practical one, right? Most people already have some in their houses and you can just throw it in 35 minutes and just walk away, right? But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Give this recipe a try. It's not that difficult. Like I said, make it your own. Recipe is just a guideline. You guys could always mess around with it however way you like. If you guys need any extra help, I'm always in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.